Your opponents are making really the argument, who needs textbooks anymore if their time has come and gone and people have other ways to learn. The learning works. The learning is more appealing, certainly to a generation that didn't spend a life growing up with textbooks. And that's a good thing to not only to surrender to, but to embrace.
No, I mean, I agree. Again, games can teach specific skills, but the question here
But he didn't say a specific skill. He was talking about
they're teaching you facts. They're teaching you ways of, I think, understanding a specific problem, but that's a specific problem. Does that help you solve other problems, which I think would be a good measure of intelligence, not just, can I solve this specific problem? The game kind of walked me through it, held my hand, and took me through this. Does that make me able to solve other problems is a classic way to think about intelligence. And these games, in no way, we can look at the literature and look at classic measures of IQ and these types of measures, and there's no video game study out there that shows that a video game is even associated with gameplay, not just kind of a pre-post intervention study. So again, I find myself agreeing with Asi on some of these points. I think, but the question I would like to ask is can these games have a more broad benefit? And do you mind if I get back to another point in terms of, you mentioned replication. Again, not all of these studies replicate. I know that from personal kind of experience, but also there are studies in the literature to suggest that these aren't as robust effects as originally made out.
Okay, let's take that to Daphne. Not so much on the point of replication, but the previous point that he was making.
So there are.
In terms of,
I would not defend that we're going to raise IQ as it's been defined in the literature now. I could see ourselves developing another IQ test that is actually showing sensitivity to digital literacy, in a sense video games. So I'm putting back a bigger issue, which is that at the beginning of the 21st century, we know that in order to enter the workforce, you need to have digital literacy. This is not something that we measure very well in terms of our intelligence. It would be a very interesting test. I don't think anyone has put it together.